Good afternoon. I'm MJ from Linus Publications, and we're going to do a shot session on Janet Mills. This is the governor of Maine that is looking now to run as a senator in opposition to Susan Collins. Now, her opponent is, in the Democratic candidate, would be Graham Plattner. And we did a session on Graham Plattner. And as I noted in that session, it seemed like February was a difficult month for him next year. And the primary looked still difficult to discern. Pretty much the same thing is sort of coming true for Janet Mills. When I look at the primary, I've looked at stuff, but not in detail, but it doesn't look like it would be a slam dunk for her. And in her case, it's going to be April. That's going to be sort of a difficult month, and that's next year. So let's take a look at some of the things I want to note about her natal chart. First, she's got quite a few planets in fire and in earth. And if you caught some of my previous videos, that would have been a suggestion of someone being a GOP. It's not necessarily, it's not straight and narrow like that, but you think that their philosophy is a little bit more towards the right than the left. So in this case, just from seeing that, I can sort of say that, okay, she's a Democrat that is right-leaning, which for Maine, that would be fine. I mean, they're a very practical state. There's no fuss there, so she would probably do well, as she has with the governorship. So let's take a look at one of the angles she has, which is Jupiter trine Pluto. Trine, great angle. And this is in her natal chart. So this is a woman that is going to make her opportunities. Pluto is control, Jupiter is opportunities. So she is controlling as much as she can to make opportunities. And this will probably be very evident in how she has run the state of Maine. That she tries to make opportunities rather than waiting for things to come to her. She tries to get them, put things together. She also has her Sun and Mercury conjunct. And this happens to be in Capricorn. Very practical sign. And this is one reason why many people with things in Capricorn tend to be more towards the GOP level side rather than Democrats. Very practical, a very, bottom line, on the numbers. In this case, she has a lot of thoughts about how to do things, and it's almost like her identity and her thought processes work hand in hand. So, very involved in planning and making sure things are workable. Now, big thing here is this is actually trine her Mars. And her Mars happens to be in Virgo, which is a very detail-oriented sign. Mars in Virgo, you are going to get things done. You can do very tedious work. You do what's necessary to get that done, but you usually have a result. So this is one indication that she can get things done. Now, what's the big con in her favor? Her age. She is going to be 78. When the primary comes up next year. It means 6 years for a term for the Senate. That will be putting it, at 84. Now, after what the Democrats have gone through with Biden, with Diane, the senator in California, with Ruth on the Supreme Court, with a few other people, it's hard to see that the voters in Maine would not take that into consideration. But again, it's their decision. Now let's take a look at some of the things I was seeing. And she doesn't have a lot of transits right now. So she has more starting up in April. And that's what I was looking at. So she's got Saturn square Mercury. Saturn, restrictions on what? Mercury plans, communications. So this could be that things just are not going well if she's on the campaign trail. Maybe her ideas are not resonating with people. Or maybe she's just not doing many type of events. Now, on 4-5, she's got the South Node conjunct Mars. South Node is where we give out. On Mars, this is suggesting that maybe, she has maybe some type of illness that comes up. Doesn't, and again, minor, but something that would, considering her age, start to bring up other questions. Okay. Now on 413, we have Saturn in conjunct Mars. So now we have what? Restrictions on Mars, actions, possibly even ability to get around, the energy level. So all of these are sort of, we got Saturn first on the Mercury, then now on the Mars. So again, calling up into question maybe issues with the age. Lastly, on 422, we've got Saturn squaring Sun. And by the way, Saturn is direct at this time. So Saturn squaring Sun, her identity. What restrictions on that? So it could be, as I noted in her natal chart, it looks like she's more of a moderate Democrat, meaning Democrat leaning right. So it could be that maybe people in Maine are looking more for a Democrat that's in the middle. And Plattner is leaning left for a Democrat. So they've got a good choice between these people. Now, as I noted, it doesn't look like, it looks like the primary would be difficult for her, just as it was for Plattner. So it's not right now that I'm seeing a quick winner. And I will take a look at that as, maybe in a month or so, or maybe earlier. But right now, it looks like she's going to have some issues coming up in April. So definitely we'll take a look at it in April, but I'll see if I can have some type of idea of the primary before that. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Bye now.